Is this the place?
Yeah. We can bury your friend under this tree, if that's okay with you.
Wow. What are the swords here? Or wait, that's not fucking swords. What the fuck do you mean? These are literally tombstones, and that's where the numbers of the expeditioners are at. Look at that. 46, 37, 46, 37, 46.
Couldn't wait for me, could you? I wish we could.
Rest easy, Gustav.
I'll finish what you started. The paintress, Renoir, they will pay.
No more dome. Just open skies.
I'll save them, Gustav. Emma, your apprentices, everyone.
You can leave it to us. You were always there for me.
I'll save them.
Say hi to Soph for me, yeah?
We could never tell if you were my brother or my father. But to me, you were both. The best brother and father I've ever had.
When one falls, we continue.
Thanks for being my family. In the next life.
You know, I was really hoping not to have to cry it, but I failed. The characters in this game are so unbelievably likable. It's so hard to not see them as, like, you know, I don't know. You know, there's some people online who, like, think of video game characters, think of movie characters. They are able to, like, form a pull disconnection with what they are seeing. I'm unable to do that myself. Especially if the characters are as authentic as they are, they might as well just be real to me in like their emotional investment and value that they, you know, bring to me when I play these games, right? You know? It's so much more fulfilling to play these games too when you like, you know, when you give so much more value to, you know, what you love doing, right? So it's literally like part of the, you know, enjoyment you get, a big part. So yeah, and some people choose to live without having that from video games. Some people. Heavy is the burden for the ones that come after, right? Like Gustav would say. I wonder what Verso was thinking on that scene. Like, the way Verso was kind of perusing the gravestones, it kind of made me think that a lot of them people that, you know, died there and were buried there, there was some kind of like disconnection or like denial that I saw at least on his face there when he was looking at the gravestones. It's like I got a feeling of maybe he feels like a certain like distant or distance from those people, like they weren't his people, but at the same time I feel like he feels that way because it was so like, you know, I mean those people that were literally buried there, like the, you know, the 47 or the 37 or something expeditioners, those were never his, you know, comrades. Like, you know, he was part of Expedition Zero. He knows what the cause of what the expeditions are. They know what it stands for, of course, but, you know, he can't bring himself to, like, altruistically, like, personalize, like, that, like, moral value, like, on himself anymore, because of how long he has been living and, you know, all of the death that he has had to see. So he's kind of had to form this forceful, like, disconnection from, like, the, you know, other expeditioners that have come and gone before, you know? Because he knows that eventually he will just have to probably let them go, you know? So yeah. Interesting to see how he's coming to terms with it as well.
For about 2 hours. Then there's a big lake. We shouldn't go there at all. We should make a right, and then it's gonna take a few hours, and then we make a stop. We get some rest and some food. And then from there, we head north to Monoko Station.
Why there?
To recruit my oldest friend. We'll need the extra firepower, because our next goal will be to take down the Paintress' heart.
Her heart?
Yes. You can't just stroll up to the Paintress. The chroma there is far too dense. It erases anyone who gets close. But if we destroy her heart, the barrier will fall.
Okay. So where is this heart? What does it look like?
What it looks like, that I don't know. But
Nobody
I do know
knows.
that it's somewhere in the center of old Lumiere.
You found old Lumiere?
Yes.
So it's true. Before the fracture, our Lumiere was part of a larger city on the continent.
Yes?
I've traveled with many expeditions.
That's what...
I was with the 58th when we found old Lumiere. But Renoir erased them before we could get further. And I don't know much more.
All right then. Let's go meet your friend at Monoko Station. And then we'll take the Paintress's heart.
I think his friend, I think he's literally talking about an object. Because he was saying that we need the extra firepower. So I think maybe his friend is actually just some kind of weapon. Maybe. That he left there. So I guess it could be also an expeditioner as well. At the heart of Lumiere, there's the heart of the paintress. I wonder if it was planted there, or if it spawned there because of this fracturing, you know? If it was planted there, then these lands will probably, you know, become a whole lot less, you know, not superficial, what is the word? Supernatural and less mythological in nature. They will probably just come to... They will probably just turn into, you know, much more like, you know, your normal average landscapes. Though something weird that has never really been explained. The chroma is inside all of the living, well, at least the living humans in this game, right? Doesn't that kind of mean that if the paintress controls the chroma, and we are made of chroma, in somewhat, I mean, we are not like... It almost feels like this is some kind of experiment in some way. From some even higher power, like this entire existence that they have here. And the paintress, you know, seems as much of a victim of this as anybody else. And what happens when they destroy her heart? Or the paintress? Will Lumiere just fall? There's nothing left, everything gets destroyed, it's basically Ragnarok, it's just oblivion. Nothing exists anymore. Right, did I perfect all of these before? Pretty much.
How far up the mountain is Minoko Station? Will we see snow?
Not too high, but yeah. There's usually snow.
Fantastic.
Okay, snow is something I was not expecting to see in this game. Mainly because we are... Actually, wait, I can't really say that because this game has not said anything about the geological placement of anything that we have in this game. And, you know, we are definitely in somewhere... Like in some very, like, supernatural, like, land. Because of how everything functions in here. So, yeah, I guess it's possible,
right.
whatever.
There's no snow in Lumiere.
No, only in books and paintings. It's almost as mythical as Gestrels.
Trust me, you don't like it.
And just as fun. And sometimes just as deadly.
Oh.
One of them needs to
Really?
One of them needs to own a car that
My
has to be
husband was obsessed
parked
with
on
the
an
idea of snow.
outside
I can't wait to see some.
outside parking spot or your driveway, and you are gonna fucking hate snow. Trust me. It's not fun. Okay?
You seem less stressed than the others.
Is that your conclusion? After your extensive observation of our team?
Yes.
There must be better uses of your time than analysing our stress levels.
Well, it's important to understand your teammates.
Says the mysterious stranger who has yet to share much about himself.
Then consider this my attempt to be less mysterious.
Oh, is that what this is?
I'll trade you. A story for a
I
story.
wanna do the other option
Quite fair,
more,
I think.
but I'm really curious to see what he wants to say, so...
Well, there are stories and then there are stories. You first then.
To be honest, I intrinsically wanna understand this more. Wanna choose this more. However... Fuck, man, this is a hard choice. This is probably something you're never gonna get again, because with what's his name? Fuck, I forgot that. What is our big fucking marshmallow's name again? Fucking... What was it? SQ, yes, of course. Fucking SQ like an Eskimo, yeah. Like with SQ, we only got to see this option once. And then after that, I wasn't able to do this talk again, so... This is like New Game Plus to see what happens from the other option. Or, you know, save edit, but let's not do that, that's lame. Fuck, I wanna do the first
Something
one.
epic then? Full of battle and danger?
No. Tell me something dark and melancholy. And
Ooh, going straight for the heavy stuff, huh?
Ooh, let's see it. He wants to talk about his past comrades. Actually, no, he doesn't want to talk about them, but I guess
if
CL
we're
is
going
pressuring.
to share, let's share.
Story for a story, right?
We'll see.
God damn it. That's all we get. God fucking damn it. We don't actually get to hear a story. We just get the fucking... We just get narrated a story to us.
How
That,
far up the mountain?
Not too hard.
well,
Oh, right.
No.
And just as...
Oh, my husband was obsessed with the idea of snow.
Your oldest friend is a Jastral.
you mean SQ?
Yes. We've been friends for as long as I can remember.
Oh, fuck. Wait, what? Wait, is she insinuating the idea that when Verso said that we need the help of his oldest friend, you know, more firepower, he didn't say anything about a chest roll. This is some... Okay, this is a mistake from the devs, or just some, you know, some small, like, narrative plot hole here that they didn't explain to us. But it's a chest
I
roll.
love that.
Why? Because he liked gestrels.
Because he liked the idea of friendships that could last decades. We don't get to enjoy such long friendships in Lumiere.
Oh, fuck, okay.
Why are you allying yourself with us?
That is a damn good question, but I know the answer to that. It has to do with what he said before. You know, how he marched the 58th expedition members also in the heart of Old Lumiere. Like, he's been doing this for a long while already, right? He's been helping in and out all of the, like, different expeditions throughout the centuries, or the decades, I mean. So this is something that he naturally just believes in more. You know, he had a fall-in with Renoir a long time ago because of their dialogue that they had when Gustav died. Like, where Renoir said to Verso's face when, you know, he put himself in middle of Mile and him, that, you know, or Renoir said then at that moment that, you know, you chose to walk away a long time ago, and then Verso's like, you know, antagonizing him like a bit there, you know. Like, they clearly have, like, very strong like reverence towards each other still, but they just don't see eye to eye at all, you know. And Verso does not want to actually kill or actually seriously even harm Verso just because he's respect for this person, you know, despite of, you know, them working for completely different like outcomes.
Not a lot of options out here, in case you hadn't noticed.
What about the previous expeditioners? Did you help them too? Yet they still failed.
That's a terrible way to ask questions. Do you always interrogate people like this?
Given the circumstances, I think we can skip the pleasantries, no?
Alliances are usually give and take, as are conversations. Trust goes both ways, no?
All right then. As a gesture of good faith, I'll show you how to use Lumina.
Lumina converter, you mean?
No need. I got it.
You know what? This is actually another thing that I don't exactly understand. Lumina converter and how Lumina works or converting it into energy, it's explained in one single sentence at the very start of the game in the prologue section. And after that, it's never explained again. There's one line that one expeditioner that is asking like quiz questions, like 3 times like multiple choice questions from Gustav, that, you know, answers as to how the Lumina converter works, and then any other time in the game they don't explain that, so yeah.
Well, aren't you a quick study?
But I appreciate the gesture. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Trust works both ways.
All right. As a gesture of good faith, I'll answer 3 questions. Choose wisely.
Oh, fuck.
Only 3.
Can I choose the questions from Loon's perspective?
Someone's a bit greedy.
3 questions with 3 follow-ups.
You're really pushing this.
I think it's reasonable.
All right. Go for it.
Ah. So 6 questions and, well, 3 of them are just follow-ups to the first question. Or the previous. I'm really curious if we are gonna be able to do the same thing with Mile.
How come Monoko lives so far from the other Gestrels?
Monoko's a searcher. They travel the land looking for Gestrels.
Wait,
who went missing
Monoko is
after
the fucking
fracture.
Gestral's name? I thought it was a place's name. Oh, well, fuck, here we go. They made it sound like it was a place's name, not a person's name. So that's the Gestral's name is Monoko. Okay.
The lost Gestrels.
Yeah. That and he, pissed off Golgra.
How come
Monoko's...
the lost...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was sad.
Yeah.
You were sad.
Yeah.
You were thinking of Julie.
Not just her. Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah. I do.
She reminds me of someone.
Is he talking about Mile?
Who? Mael?
Have I met her before?
The game is giving us hints. Okay, so this is what we know of Renoir's family structure so far in this game, or what I have gathered. Renoir was a commander of Expedition Zero. I think Renoir's daughter, who is Alicia, I think that woman, based off, you know, his choices of words and how he kind of like controls her movement whenever she's like on the picture or has been on the picture. That makes me think that that's his daughter. And Verso here was probably her husband or boyfriend that looks to have been forced to either kill her, see herself killed, or something else like that along those lines. He's not of blood relation to Renoir at all. But that also is one of the reasons why Renoir does not want to kill him. Because Alicia still lives, and you know, he would understand as to what that would feel for Alicia, you know, if he would do that, of course. And then, where does Mile fit in here exactly? Like, you know, maybe it comes back to like the thing I was talking about, the chroma in this game. How like all of the creatures in this game seem to be built out of chroma. All the living and moving things. So maybe for some reason, like just like how the Chestrals are reborn of like the River of Renewal or whatever they called it, maybe some of the Lumierans are also like reborn or reincarnated from the same chroma from the previous like person in some way. And maybe that's the reason as to why her presence, as well as, you know, Miles' own personality feels so... Or maybe that's the reason as to why she feels so like, such like an outcast, you know, in this environment, possibly.
You also thought you knew CL.
Oh, but I do. Wait, don't I?
Sometimes I feel like you know everyone.
Oh, well, that's because you're all cousins. Same, but different.
What the fuck?
Right, so, maybe it's that.
Yes. Ah, just like Verso is Verso's cousin. Mile is Miles' cousin. Yes, that's it. You're so very wise.
You know, that almost makes sense to me.
It's okay if you don't understand, Verso. You're still wise to me.
You're just a big ball of nonsense sometimes, aren't you?
That's why we're best friends.
You're gonna make me blush. Homie Pickle. I'm surprised I can see those emotes. I have so many different emotes disabled. All of the moving ones especially.
What?
Such a brilliant theme for one of the brightest inventors of Lumiere.
What are you working on?
That's a map somehow, by the way.
Contingency plans. If we fail,
Never mind, it's not.
Expedition 32 will need every bit of information we have.
Right, but how are you going to get it to them?
I asked the Gestrals for help.
Smart.
What are the stars whispering to you?
Actually, I'm the one whispering to them.
Oh?
It's something my dad and I used to do. When I was scared, or anxious, or even when I was happy, he'd say, share it with the stars. When it's hard to talk about things, the stars will understand.
What is the big planet there very nearby?
I like that.
Doesn't look like anything exactly.
I talked to the stars a lot after he was gone.
I remember the night we first met at the Crooked Tower.
Right. After the gommage.
I was surprised to find you there. I thought I was the only one who knew about that room.
Wait, Crook Tower.
I had to get away from the harbour. And those damn petals everywhere. So I climbed up.
It wasn't logical. But part of me really believed my parents and their expedition had succeeded. That they'd stopped her. Then the paint just woke. And I knew they weren't coming home.
You know, it meant a lot to me. The comfort we shared that day. But you avoided me after. Why?
It wasn't personal. I cut a lot of people out of my life.
Okay, not personal.
Academic success. That's what we call that.
That day, I knew my parents had failed. They were counting on me to finish their work. I couldn't afford distractions.
What did I just say?
Friends are not distractions.
They are.
I know that now.
They actually are.
Wow.
Or
We're
maybe
in the
not
middle of
distractions, but they
nowhere
can be
with
burdens.
1 year left to live. What better time to build friendships?
I could use some wine, though.
Making friends is thirsty work.
You know, I was gonna say, like, until this point in the story, CL felt like an outcast of the group more than even Verso does. But it's more so because Verso feels like he has to put out a stronger front on like how he presents himself, because he wants to build as much what's the word, he wants to build as much rapport with the rest of the group as fast as possible, as much trust, you know. Because if he doesn't, then, you know, the people in here are not gonna, you know, they aren't gonna follow him, you know? So he's naturally just good at doing that because of all of the decades that he spent with... Wait, we can check on others again? What? Interesting. He's naturally just good at that because of, you know, his experience and, you know, what he has had experience during these decades. But then Ciel, she kind of just feels like... I mean, she keeps it to herself more, interestingly. Loon also is a lot more like... what is the word? She's a lot more of an introvert with how she, you know, talks about, you know, her free time or, you know, her interests. She's all business, you know? But she feels to me less like an outcast in the group than Ciel did. And even right now, after that scene, I still feel the same way a lot.
Hey.
Hey.
I didn't mean...
It's fine.
I hate the dialogue not auto-playing. It's still the worst part of this game, I would say, out of literally everything. Okay, besides the fucking forced TAA. Okay, that's worse. But maybe the second worst thing is the dialogue not auto-playing. It's so annoying when I have to just pace how they say stuff. You know, I have to like... I can't just like sit here and just immerse myself on what is currently being displayed or discussed. I have to just keep continuing the dialogue on my own pace, and it's distracting. And physically speaking, I can't let the controller just go down and just kinda, you know? I have to just sit here and just, you know?
I miss him too.
It's not a fun dynamic to have. I would rather have it outplay every time. Besides the dialogue that is not voice acted, maybe that's the only exception. So like when you talk to like the Chestrals or like the merchants, that dialogue is fine if it doesn't outplay.
The pain we feel every time we lose someone. I've tried many ways of dealing with it. Running from it, sitting with it, compartmentalizing it. But what I needed was to use it. To use everything.
What do you mean?
I feel everything. And I let it burn inside me. When I'm tired, when I feel hopeless, when I want to just let it all go.
She uses it as motivation, I guess, is what
I
she's
use
trying to
the
say,
pain.
maybe.
I use the fear, the shame, the guilt, the anger. I use it all to keep going. To make sure I continue.
Moaning.
I can almost feel them beside me. Everyone we've lost. Walking with me. Especially when I use Chroma. I feel their presence, their closeness. And they help me.
You feel Gustav?
Yeah, I do.
I'd like to feel him with me too.
You have an affinity for Chroma too. Try it.
How was that?
How do you always know what to do?
I don't.
The know-it-all.
Want to know a secret? I have no idea what I'm doing. And I don't think anyone else does either.
Really?
Don't tell anyone else I said that.
I thought that was gonna go in the direction of the exceptional Walk Path of Solitude. but it's more so. maybe it's more so like the exceptional. I'm gonna have to think on that one actually. Wait, was that Verso?
Thanks.
No.
It
Wait,
really was a
wait,
beautiful place.
why is...
Glad you liked it.
Wait, why is Verso not wearing my outfit?
Buried friends there too.
Wearing his default outfit on this scene.
You were right. About condolences. We offered them because we don't know what else to say, but there's no comfort there.
No.
All we can do is carry them with us.
I guess. Sorry. It's just we're
Drowning in our own sadness. Hey, why did you join the expedition? I mean, with the Gamage, I understand the rest of the team's decision, but you're half their age.
out here seemed better than in there at the time.
It's natural. Wanting to escape a life you don't want.
Escape. Yeah. That's what I wanted. But Gustav and the others, they really want to change things.
Well, changing a life also counts. Can't always shoulder the world's problems, you know? It'll drain you fast.
Gustav would probably say, if more of us cared, then it would lighten the load for everyone.
He sounds like a good guy.
Wait. I kept Gustav's, so you can have mine. You'll need one if you want to be an official member of our merry crew.
I gotta say, I didn't take you for an official kind of person.
Interesting.
Welcome to the disaster expedition.
Thank you.
Right. I think this is Miles' new coping mechanism that we just saw. I think that's what this is. Right, so Mile basically just turned hysterical there for a moment and just flipped like the entire, like, you know, as she said in her own words, like drowning in sadness kind of thing. She swapped it around for Verso there for a moment in the scene. You know, partly maybe because she used it as a segue to, you know, give her own, like, you know, expedition mark to Verso there, you know, in a bit more, like, you know, blissful mood, I suppose. But, you know, I feel like one reason as to why she did that is because she wanted more so to, you know, kind of try to a new coping mechanism to get over this, like, slump they are in mentally. It helps.
How far
Also,
to make-
Verso's outfit seriously just changed. Oh, that's why the game gives you a fully new outfit. Wait, what? That's literally just... The only difference in this outfit is that he's wearing the badge. And I'm fine with that.
Noko Station.
With SGA? That should be quick.
Right. So this now is the main continent, more so. This is like the, you know, neighboring lands, massive lake and something. And this here is the main continent right here. So we have barely begun the game or something. You know, land-wise.